Zeal Education Society, redefining excellence.
Hello friends, my name is Chinmay Deshpande. I am from Department of Electrical Engineering, belongs to Zeal College of Engineering and Research, Narhe, Pune. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about braking in a DC motor. Now, you will ask me one question, sir, what do you mean by basically braking? A running motor may be brought into a rest quickly either by a mechanical braking or electrical braking. So if you want to stop your vehicle, if you want to stop your locomotive, then you have to apply a force in a reverse direction, and that force which will be applied in the reverse direction is nothing but a braking. Now, electrical braking is used in the application where the frequent, quick, accurate or the emergency stoppage is required. This is what is the basic difference between mechanical and electrical braking. If you want to stop your vehicle immediately, then instead of applying a mechanical brake, we can apply electrical brakes also. Electrical braking allows the smooth stoppage without any inconvenience to the passenger. Now, whenever the loaded hoist is lowered, electric braking keeps the speed within the safe limit, or otherwise the machine or the drive speed will reach to the dangerous value. And on the other hand, whenever a train goes down to a steep gradient, electric braking is employed, which is used to hold the train speed within the prescribed and within the safe limit. Now let's discuss what are the disadvantages of a mechanical braking over electrical braking. Now in case of electrical braking, it is more commonly used whenever the load is active, that is active loads are applicable. In spite of electrical braking, the braking force can also be obtained by using a mechanical braking. But there are few disadvantages related to that. It requires frequent maintenance because of wear and tear of a brake shoe, and we have to replace that brake shoes. Braking power gets wasted in the form of heat. But if you observe in case of electrical braking, there will be no wastage of a power. We can use that power. How to use? So that is what is called as regenerative braking. Now let's discuss different types of electrical braking. First is nothing but regenerative braking. Second is dynamic or rheostatic braking. And third one is a plugging or a reverse current braking. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about regenerative braking. Now, what do you mean by regenerative braking? In a regenerative braking, the power or the energy will not be wasted, but it will be used for some other purpose, that is to power the supply mains. Now here you will observe that the power or the energy of the driven machinery, which is in a kinetic form, is returned back to the supply mains. Now the machine operating as a motor, it may go into a regenerative braking mode if its speed becomes sufficiently high so as to make whatever value of a back EMF EB will be greater than the supply voltage. Let's consider this is what is a simple diagram for a DC shunt motor. The voltage V is applied here, EB is the back EMF, RA is the armature resistance, I is the total current or IT is the total current, IA is the current which will flow through armature, IF or ISH is the current which will flow through shunt connected field winding, and RSH is nothing but your value of a value of a resistance of a shunt connected field winding. Now for the armature winding circuit, what is the equation? Already we discussed in the previous videos also. V equal to EB plus IARA. Now from that I can write EB equal to V minus IARA. Now but obvious, under this condition, that is from equation number 1, if the direction of the current, that is IA, is reverse, then your torque is also going to reverse. Why? Because we know that in the DC motor, torque is directly proportional to phi into Ia. So if your direction of the current Ia is reverse, the torque which will be imposed, it is also going to reverse here. So let's discuss this situation. Here you will observe a machine which will be operate as a motor. Now this is your electric locomotive. This is the direction to which this locomotive moves. N1 is the speed with which this particular wheel will rotate. Now here again the DC supply E or V is given. IF is the current which will flow through a field winding. Then flux which will be produced is the phi. Then small amount of a current from the total will reach to the armature, and that current will be armature current IA. Then N1 is the speed. Here you will observe that the rotation is a clockwise. Then EB is the back EMF which will be produced. RA is the armature resistance, and TE is nothing but a torque which will be developed. Now under normal operating condition, here the armature, or we can say that this is what is the armature, it takes a supply from this DC supply. So here the current will be drawn from the DC supply, IA will be drawn from the DC supply, and from this condition it has been observed that V will be greater than EB. That is your EMF, back EMF value, but obviously it is less compared to that of your supply voltage. Now what is your formula of a back EMF? Already we discussed that EB equal to phi N ZP upon 60A. Now instead of writing here capital N, here I have written small n1, because here in the diagram we have shown that this will be your initial speed, or we can say that speed at this condition. Now we also know that from this we can write EB equal to K into N1 into phi. Why? Because this P is a constant, Z is constant, 60 is constant, A is constant. So this constant will come under this K. EB equal to K into N1 into phi. Now there will be question in your mind, how the speed on its own become large enough so that your back EMF EB will be greater than the supply voltage V, and it causes regenerative braking. So let's discuss here two cases. This situation will be occur in practice whenever the mechanical load which will be active in that case. So let's discuss this first case. Imagine the DC motor is coupled to the wheel of the locomotive which is moving along a plane track. So this is a plane track without any gradient. Gradient is nothing but a slope. So here you will observe that the machine will run at a speed N1. So this N1 indicates the speed of a motor or speed of the armature whenever the plane track is there without having any gradient. Now let's discuss, suppose there is a gradient. Now what happens in that case? Now because of this gradient, whenever the track has a downward gradient, but obvious because of gravitational force along the track, it also comes into the picture and it will be appear which will try to accelerate this locomotive. Why? Because of this presence of a gradient. Now here, because of this, what happens? Whatever your speed will be, that speed will be N2. It may increases from N1 to N2. Such that we can write this EB equal to K into phi into N2. Initially, we have written EB equal to K into phi into N1 when there was no gradient and plane track was there. But here, as we have considered gradient, so therefore instead of writing N1 here we have written N2. Now here you will observe that this EB will be greater than V. Now what happens in that case? Please see carefully what will be the direction of a torque applied here. Now in the first case it was in a clockwise direction. In the second case it was in an anti-clockwise direction. Why? Here because the direction of a current is reversed. In the first case the direction of a current from DC supply towards the armature. But here now this particular motor will act as a generator, and therefore the direction of a current will be reversed. So as the direction of the current is reversed, so torque which will be produced, that torque is also going to reverse here. Now in such a scenario, you will observe that this reversed direction current, that is armature current, will feed the power back to the supply. Because here you will observe that this is what is your EB which is greater than that of voltage V. Now the regenerative braking here will not stop the motor, yes, but it will help to arrest rise of dangerously high speed because of presence of this gradient. Now the necessary condition for the regeneration is that the back EMF EB should be greater than that of the supply voltage V, so that the direction of a current, that is current which will flow through the armature, it will get reversed and the mode of the operation will change from motoring to generating. In the first case, whenever there was no gradient, then in that case your EB was less than that of a supply voltage V. So the direction of a current, that is armature current, was from supply side towards we can say that armature side. But here because of presence of a gradient, now the same motor will act as a generator, and in that case the direction of a current is reversed. And already we discussed that as far as your torque equation is considered, whenever the direction of the current is reversed, but obvious the torque will be reversed. So what are the applications of regenerative braking? It is used especially where the frequent braking and slowing of the drives is required. Then it is most useful in holding a descending load of a high potential energy at a constant speed. This is used to control the speed of the motor driving loads such that in electric locomotives, in the elevators, in the cranes and the hoist. So most of the time in an electric locomotive, this regenerative braking is used, and whatever power which will be produced, that power will be used for fans and the tube lights. Regenerative braking cannot be used for stoppage of the motor. It is used for controlling whatever speed above the no load speed of a motor driving. So these are the applications of regenerative braking, and this will be a topic related to regenerative braking. Thank you.
Zeal Education Society, redefining excellence.